1987, my present spouse, Patrick Maha, and I went to a meeting that the Rhode Island Alliance for Gay and Lesbian Civil Rights was having, and they were talking about AIDS issues, and we were interested in that, and so we went to this meeting. And at the meeting, a woman named Diane Cook, who had been running Options for a number of years since it started, Options News Magazine. It started in 1982. This was 1987. She'd been working on it for almost 5 years. And she said, I just can't do this anymore. I can't do lobbying with the Alliance for Gay and Lesbian Civil Rights and Options. So, unless somebody wants to help me with it or take it over. And so there were a few people that had been working with her, Marilyn Davis and Lori Griffith, and I think Charles Alsdorf. They said, well, we'll take it on. And I was the new person to all this stuff, but I was a graphic designer. I work at Trinity Rep as a graphic designer. And I said, I'll do the graphic design for it. I'll do that part of it. And Patrick said he would help sell advertising. So, so we did that. And as I mentioned before, it was one of those things where nobody wanted to lead a meeting, and I thought I can lead a meeting. So gradually I became the leader of the meetings, so to speak, for the next 18 years for Options. But as part of that group that was working on Options, Marilyn, Lori, Charles, myself, Patrick, we were also the Pride Committee at that time. It was a very small group of people, like in 1987. It was probably less than 10 people working on it. And we had been to the Pride Parade the year before, where I think there were less than 50 people attended. It was kind of appalling, and yet really wonderful too, just like exciting to be walking down the street with a group of people yelling for our rights and having all of these confused people on the sidewalk going, what is going on? Who are these people? They didn't understand. So it was fun. So I worked on the Pride Committee until, let's see, I've written down some dates, probably from 1987, probably till 1990 or something. And every year it grew. We invited people to join us. There used to be a newspaper called The Phoenix, or The New Paper, and it had two columnists named Philippe and Jorge who pretended to be gay but weren't. So we said, well, then you need to be our grand marshals for the parade. If you're going to pretend to be gay, you've got to be the grand marshals for the parade. So we gradually built it up. But, and so in terms of coming out, I had come out to my parents in 1976, didn't realize that when I was talking to them on the phone, I was also talking to other relatives who were in the room at the same time that I didn't know were there. So, and it was a little tough at first, but it's fine. Later on, my father has become a big advocate for LGBT rights. And so working on Options and working on the Pride Committee, it was a constant, you were constantly coming out. You constantly had to talk to vendors who had never talked to an LGBTQ organization or representative before. You had to go set up a bank account and say, I'm doing this for Options. It's Rhode Island's gay, lesbian, transgender, queer news magazine. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun to see like the looks on their faces, and, because most people, if they knew a gay person, they were maybe quietly out, but they rarely met somebody who was like, hi, I'm a business person. I want to do a business dealing with you. I want to rent space in your warehouse for an office so that we can mail this gay magazine. It was so much fun. And I noticed in some of your other interviews, you asked if people had faced a lot of adversity. And in my life, I didn't, maybe in high school a little bit. And and being gay, may have been more self-imposed adversity, thinking that it was a problem when it wasn't. And so, but by the time I got out of college, I had lots of gay friends. I worked in a great gay-friendly business at Trinity Repertory Company. And so it was easy to be out there and to talk to strangers and just say, oh yeah, I'm gay and we want to do this. One of the most exciting things I think for the Pride Committee was, we'd already gotten licensed. We knew how to get licenses to march. And but one time we thought, we need to do something more during the year. What if we had a Valentine's Day dance? And so I'm looking at my notes. In 1990, we had a dance and we were, where can we do this? And we thought, well, what about the Roger Williams Park Casino? That's a beautiful place and it's a public thing. We pay taxes for that and we should be allowed to rent it just like anybody else. And so, again, it was fun. You go to City Hall and you talk to the clerks behind the desk and you say, we're the Gay and Lesbian Pride Committee and we want to have a Valentine's Day dance at the Roger Williams Park Casino. And they were like, oh, okay, well, okay. And everybody seemed to respond pretty well too. We rarely, there were cranks who would follow the parade with maybe a bullhorn and yell stuff at us, but they were just cranks. But I think it was enormously exciting and empowering for people in the community to be able to go to the casino in Roger Williams Park and go to a party there and say, this is just for us. This is, we're doing this, and if somebody sees us, who cares? It's great. It was very exciting. So so coming out for me, it was just like a constant thing of working on Options Magazine and the Pride Committee, and being out there. I looked at some journals last night, and in one of them it said for the 1989 Gay Pride Parade, I was the media whore. So I was, I would talk to anybody who had a microphone or a camera and about what Gay Pride meant, what it meant to come out, and why we were doing this, and the importance of it and stuff. So, for me, I had a really great time. It was a lot of work, and I was happy when I could hand it off to my part of it to other people to do. But it was very fun, I thought. Yeah.